I talk a lot about being vigilant, being ever watchful, being on guard from the lies, hypocrisy, and deception of the evil ones of this planet. The corruptors, the evildoers, the misleaders, the haters, detractors, psychic vampires, and negative influencers, they're everywhere. But the thing is, these lies and this hypocrisy and deceit of which I speak, it doesn't come at you as lies, hypocrisy, and deception. No, it's disguised as truth. It's disguised. It's masquerading. It's wearing a cloak. And underneath that cloak is a dagger, ready to stab you in the back. With darkness, with depravity, with decadence, with temptation, with indulgence, such that you lose your way. The devil doesn't come to you. Lucifer, Hashatan, and his minions, they don't come to you as they would in some horror movie or some horror novel meant to scare the life out of you. No, it's all coming to you as an illusion, a mirage, and a hallucination, much like this false reality that you face, that you navigate, that you weave yourself through day after day, and that has tricked you into believing that the way to live this life is to live your best life, to live today like there is no tomorrow, to live your truth, not his truth. Yahushua HaMashiach, the Son of the Most High, the perfect Lamb of Yahuwah, who sacrificed everything so that we may live, while the demons and the evil ones of this world will have you suffer unto them and die slowly, perish slowly in misery, from a broken heart, broken dreams, broken soul, so that they may live. Yahushua HaMashiach dies so you may live. You die so the demons of this world may live. Think about that choice that you make. But again, you're not operating from a place of this stuff being in your face, because it's all deception. All war is deception. Have a look at Sun Tzu's The Art of War. All war is lies. All war is trickery. All war is deception. And most battles are won by spies, the most treacherous amongst us, the most mercenary amongst us, the most deceitful amongst us, those who would sell out their own people for 30 pieces of silver. That's how wars are won. But when it comes at you with a kiss, a Judas kiss. And so you don't recognize it, you don't notice. Yahushua HaMashiach knows all, but we're human, we make mistakes, we're fallible, and it's easy for us to be led down the gilded path. And so how do we protect ourselves from this? How do we remain strong and impervious to this? Yahushua makes it easy, but there's a few more elements we want to take into account. Yahushua makes it easy by giving us a single, all-encompassing, self-evident commandment that leads to all the other things we need to do. And that is, love Yahuwah with all your mind, heart, soul, and strength. Because in doing that, you will honor his commandments, because you love Yahuwah with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. How would you not? How could you not? Also, love your fellow man as you love yourself. Again, in so doing, you'll end up following all of the commandments. But it also gets you thinking. You'll also want to nourish. So here's what comes after that. Once you embody the single most important commandment, which is love Yahweh with all your mind, heart, soul, and strength, love your fellow man as you love yourself, In so doing, all other things become apparent. Because once you've done that, you've been on your knees. You've realized who you were. You've realized the deceit and deception that you've embodied. This is no stranger to you, because we've all been absolutely decadent, depraved, defiled, manipulative, controlling, deceitful, deceptive, in every way imaginable. We've been there. We've done that. And for all of our evil and sin, we repent. We're on our knees, confessing before our Maker, confessing before the Son of the Most High, asking for his forgiveness and being granted it instantly. That's how beautiful Yahushua HaMashiach is. You knock on his door, he answers immediately. Don't wait. Don't wait until we cross over into the kingdom to come. Because when you get there, that door, when you knock on it, then the last thing you want to hear, which you will hear, if you do not understand that this mirage is a test and a challenge for you to stand up and walk with HaMashiach, the Messiah, when you get there and you knock on that door, the voice that you will hear will impart to you the most horrible words you've ever heard, the most heartbreaking words you've ever heard, the most soul-crushing words you've ever heard, which will be, I knew you not. And you'll hear the everlasting joy, the everlasting peace, the everlasting love, the everlasting healing, the everlasting life going on behind that door. And you will be barred entry. Here in this life, why would you put yourself through that? When here in this life, it's as easy as asking instantly. You receive, seek, you find, knock on his door. He is waiting. In fact, he is banging on your door, beckoning you to walk with him in the light, to extinguish all dark. You don't have to worry about extinguishing all darkness from your life. He will absolutely dissolve, dissipate, and destroy all dark, because he is the light of this world, of which the darkness cannot comprehend, cannot fathom, and cannot overcome, such that when he hits you with his light and fills you up with the Ruach HaKodesh, the light bursts forth from you, shines down on you, heals you, illuminating the path, shining down on the path that leads to the kingdom to come. So you know that you're on the straight, true, and narrow. But in rendering yourself on your knees, truly knowing what you've done is wrong, evil, sinful, recognizing it now with all humbleness and humility, horrified at what you've been and who you were, knowing that you don't want to live that way anymore, that you've tried it your way and it constantly leads to more longing, more hunger, more clawing, more scratching, more cannibalizing, more questions, never any answers, never any fulfillment, never any gratification, always seeking, always looking to conquer, always looking to claim dominion, always looking to manipulate circumstances, people, outcomes, and never getting where you want to be. And even when you get there, even when you win a trophy, even when you get a big bank account, even when you buy the big house, even when you get all the clothes, even when you get all the cars, even when you get to the top of the mountain, you realize you're just at the bottom of another. And like Sisyphus, you're doomed to forever, for all eternity on this planet, bound to chasing the flesh, the indulgences of the flesh, and pushing that boulder up the hill, only for it to roll back down again. And so you're on your knees. And he's instantly giving you that salvation. And then you're praying on how grateful you are. How grateful you are for all that you now have. For he will reveal more than you could ever imagine, and you will receive more than you could ever ask for, such that your cup overflows and you're shouting from the rooftops. You're paying it forward because you have so much now. You have more than you could ever make do with. You have to give it away. You have to pour your heart out. You have to share the good news. You have to, because you're compelled, not because you're bound to. You still have free will, but you are pulled, motivated, inspired to share the good news. And so then in that final step, you surrender because you've tried it your way. It hasn't worked. You surrender completely. It's no longer your will, because look, our bodies are weak, but in Yahuwah we are strong. Our will is weak, but in Yahuwah our will is strong, because it is his will. Our spirits are weak, but in Yahuwah our spirit is strong. We're filled with the Ruach HaKodesh, the set-apart spirit. But we surrender now, finally. We stop chasing our tail on the endless hamster wheel, on the endless treadmill. We finally get off of it. and realize there's another way. We surrender the burden to Yahushua HaMashiach. He takes it off our hands and he guides us. He leads us. He shows us the way. He will show you the way to live your life in a manner that pleases him most. And what pleases him most? Love Yahuwah with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And love your neighbor, love your fellow man as you love yourself. And what does that mean? So what I said is, when you understand the single commandment, when you embody the single commandment, all the other things stem forth from this. And all of a sudden, everything becomes clear. You start to see deceit, deception, lies, hypocrisy, where it breeds, where it spawns, where it metastasizes. It's no longer a mystery, because you no longer are fooled by this illusion, this mirage, this false reality. You see the zeros and the ones. And more so, you're now nurturing yourself so you can nurture your fellow man. So number one, you're nourishing your soul with the gospel, with the good news, with the words, the teachings, the parables, the phrases, the stories, the life of Hamashiach. You're nourishing yourself with those words. You're pondering them. You're ruminating on, you're communicating with them. You're having those conversations. You're deep in prayer. You're deep in meditation, and you're receiving those revelations. You're receiving those instructions. You're receiving those blueprints and all these words. The word, the gospel, the good news, the new covenant, all of the parables and phrases and all of it, they start taking on so many layers of meaning as you're deep in prayer, deep in meditation, deep in the zone, deep in the flow state. And what's happening is that in nourishing your soul, you're able to live as an example and nourish others, because again, you're sharing the good news. And where are you getting the good news? You're not getting it from a preacher. You're not getting it from a so-called father. You're not getting it from an elder. You're not getting it from a so-called wise man. You're not getting it from a holy man. You're not getting it from a magi. You're not getting it from a guru. You're not getting it from a mentor. You're not getting it from some illusionist. You're not getting it from Pharisees, Sadducees, or scribes. Woe to you, liars and hypocrites. Don't get me wrong. As I've said before, there are probably a few good teachers out there. Seek them out, but you won't be able to discern the lies and hypocrisy unless you've gone through this catharsis yourself. You've gone internally. You've gone on your own journey with Yahushua HaMashiach, and you're consistently nourishing yourself daily with the word, the way, the truth, and the life, so that you can recognize it. Because iron sharpens iron, like knows like, love knows love, and hatred knows hatred. And so you'll be able to discern. But in nourishing your spirit, in nourishing your soul, you'll be able to share the good news, and you'll be able to recognize the good news when it hits you. Beyond that, you're also nourishing yourself through training, physical training, to keep the temple that he's given us, that he's bestowed us with, this hardware which houses the Ruach HaKodesh, because make no mistake about it, he lives within us. He lives within us. That's what they want to blur. That's what they want to blot out. That's what they want to disguise, that Yahusha lives within you and that you don't need these lying scribes and hypocrites and Pharisees, that you only need the word, the way, the truth, and the life, and that you can communicate directly with Yahushua HaMashiach because he lives within you. And the new covenant, the living law, is written on your heart, such that because you are saved, there's everlasting life and there's everlasting law. The old law was written for the liars, the unbelievers, the unfaithful, because it reveals sin and it metes out punishment for the unfaithful, for the decadent and the depraved. The new covenant reveals life, reveals truth, reveals belief, reveals faith, reveals love, reveals healing, reveals everlasting peace, everlasting solace, everlasting joy. It reveals everlasting life. And you walk that path to kingdom come. And so we train and we work out and we strengthen the hardware that houses the Ruach HaKodesh, so that we can walk tall and strong and be healthy as we navigate this earth, true, tall, unstoppable. We want to be strong. We want to house the Ruach HaKodesh, if for nothing else than to honor the creation, the beautiful creation, the loving creation. We were created in Yahuwah's image, so we want to honor and pay our respects to what he created. We don't want to defile ourselves. We don't want to become decadent and depraved and wallow in undue comfort, in laziness, in absolute indulgence with the worst toxic, poisonous, chemical-laden foods disguised as foods that only titillate our taste buds but provide no nourishment for the physical, for the body, for the hardware that houses the Ruach HaKodesh. If anything, we want to nourish our bodies as we nourish our soul with the good news. We want to feed ourselves with Yahuwah's food, single ingredient foods that strengthen the temple. This is the temple where Yahuwah lives. It is his creation. We were not meant to defile it. And so we feed ourselves, we keep ourselves strong with Yahuwah's food. We train ourselves to keep the hardware strong, but also the beauty of this is that's all a side effect. It's all a side effect. Keeping this temple strong is all a side effect, because beyond that, and this is why it's all connected. Again, if you think about it, love Yahuwah with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. If you do so, you'll keep his commandments, but you'll also nourish yourself because you're his creation. So you'll honor his creation. You'll nourish yourself the right way so that you can nourish others, your fellow man, the right way, and so that you can live as an example for them, so that when the Ruach HaKodesh animates you, motivates you, inspires you, and gives you that life that you've never felt before, because before your soul was dead, your heart was hard, it was concrete. Now your heart is alive. You drink of the living water such that you never thirst. You eat of the bread of life such that you never hunger, and you are truly satisfied, gratified, and your cup runneth over. So you live as an example for your people. You nourish yourself, so you nourish them. You love Yahuwah, so you love yourself because you're his creation, and you love your fellow man because they're his. And then you train the hardware. You train so that you can connect, because training gets you into flow state, gets you into the zone, gets you into a place. At least for me, it gets you into a place where you can connect with Yahushua, where you can have the conversation with Yahuwah, and especially these isometric exercises, when you're doing those and you're staying in a static place with the weight, feeling that resistance, you can connect because you're in that zone, you're in that flow state, and you're able to ponder on the phrases, the word, the way, the truth, and the life. You're able to ponder the parables, meditate and ruminate on his phrases, his words, his instructions. You're able to cogitate. You're able to concentrate. You're able to contemplate all of this amazing gospel that he's given us, as well as the words of Paul. You're able to zone in on this and have it reveal layers and layers and layers of meaning to you. And so, as I said, all of this, it's a circle. It's Alpha and Omega, for he is Alpha and Omega. He is the beginning and the end. Everything circles back in and of itself when you're living in Hamashiach. Do you see how it all connects? Do you see how it all serves one another? Do you see how it all glorifies one another? Do you see how it all it is mind-boggling in its infinite wisdom. And it resonates on a level. It instructs on a level. It guides you on a level that can't even... as much as I'm trying to describe it, I don't know if any of it's resonating. I might just sound like I'm babbling to you. It means something to me, but the words that I give you can't even do it justice. You have to feel what I'm saying for yourself. You have to tap into that frequency, tap into that signal. You have to connect with that eternal transmission that's blaring out 365, 50,000 watts of power blaring through the universe. His way, his truth, his life, his word. Woo! But in doing so, in being part of this connection, the Alpha and the Omega and the Alpha, living in Hamashiach, right? Again, how does it? He is the Word. In the beginning there was the Word was with Yahuwah. The Word was Yahuwah. The Word was made flesh, and Yahuwah Hamashiach, Son of the Most High, Yahuwah, is the Word made flesh. is Yahuwah HaMashiach, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. It all collapses back in and on itself. It all is this circle, this endless circle. It all feeds into each other. It all means something as part of a whole. It all connects. And we live in that connection. We live in HaMashiach. We live in that reality, not in this false reality. We live in the true world, not the fake world. We live, although we're in this world, we are not of this world any longer. We live in HaMashiach. And in exercising righteousness, it gives meaning to this life and moreover to the next. As Paul says in his letter to Timothy, and it depends how you translate the Greek. Some translations will say exercise benefits the body little, but exercising righteousness benefits this life. And I'm paraphrasing, but benefits the next life in ways we can't even imagine. Or it can mean exercise benefits the body a little. So it could either be exercise benefits the body little, or exercise benefits the body a little, but compared to righteousness. But any way you slice it, we can use exercise, we can use training, we can use physical fitness to strengthen the temple and to honor the Ruach HaKodesh, the set-apart spirit that lives within us. Yahusha HaMashiach, who lives within us. Yahuwah, who lives within us. The Supreme Elohim, the Most High, who lives within us. And we can use that training to honor his creation, to stay strong for our people, so that we can nurture our people, because we love our people as we love ourselves. And so nourishing ourselves, we nourish our people, and we honor Yahuwah. Again, this connection, this circle, right? We live in HaMashiach, we live in Yahuwah, we live in this connection where all feeds into all, where all nourishes all. Woo! So feel alive for the first time in your life. If you feel that light, if you feel his love, if you feel his healing, if you feel your conscience ringing as I'm speaking to you, if he has come to you, if you feel him within, if you feel that pull, if you feel him calling you, then the time is now. Hold on to Don't let it go. Grab it grab it for everything that you're worth. Grab onto it, hold on to it, and live in Yahusha, because the time is now. He has come to you at the right time, in the right way, in the right manner. Don't let it go. This is your salvation. This is your chance. This is your redemption. This is your deliverance out of all of the pain and the suffering that you've ever felt and are feeling now. The addictions, the alcohol, the drugs, the endless worrying, the endless anxiety, the endless frustration, the constant clawing, scratching, the conquering, the manipulating, the lies, the hypocrisy, the darkness, the despair, the sorrow, the depression, the indulgences, the hedonism, the pleasure seeking, the depravity, all of it that you have felt and all of it that you feel, the hopelessness of never knowing why, of never knowing what, of never knowing how to truly be alive and to understand the meaning of it all, is with you in an instant. The minute you ask Yahuwah to come into your life, he delivers. For he who calls you is faithful and will do it. So let us stand tall and march strong, unconquerable, undeniable, unassailable, undefeatable, unstoppable, as we move and groove and speed relentlessly, ceaselessly to kingdom come.